Do you want to get your business seen on the big screen? Have more eyes see who you are? Is your budget holding you back, keeping you from advertising your business? Maybe it's time you contacted Crossroads TV. Inexpensive 10-day campaign, pinpoint accuracy for demographics and geography, and the ability to select some or all of their partnered streaming services. Call us, 207-453-9895.
Welcome everyone to the Waterville Planning Board meeting. The first item on the agenda is approval of minutes of the April 22nd and May 13th Planning Board meetings. Unless somebody has an objection to either of them, we can take it as one motion.
I'll make the motion to approve both.
I'll second.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Great.
That was one abstention or two abstentions?
Any abstentions?
No, I was here for the 22nd, and y'all didn't do anything last time.
Yeah, last week didn't really count, right?
Right. Yeah, there's no minutes from that meeting.
There were, yeah,
Yeah, I did.
there were.
Oh,
Just no decisions.
wasn't on the, yeah. All right, item number 2, disclosure of conflict of interest of any of the items that are on the agenda. Not hearing any. Number 3, KB Cap Real Estate is requesting approval for revisions to the previously approved site plan.
Good evening. Jeff Allen from A.E. Hudson Engineers, and I'm representing KB Cap. So as we presented last night, or last meeting, this is just some minor changes that have been added to the site plan here at 52 King Street. Primarily, they involved adding some solar panels and relocating a dumpster. When we started looking at the plan, or when Ann started looking at the plan, we had originally had the dumpster over at the bottom of the site here. That was kind of close to a neighbor, so she thought it better, and we agreed to move it out here. This is an area, this is the driveway that goes into the lot here. So it's the other side of the driveway. You can zoom in a bit. And this will actually may be easier for the trash company to pick up the trash, because they can just pull into the site and then back out without having to drive through the site where there may be children playing or people going back and forth to their cars. The solar panels will be roof mounted, and Tyler from Solar Logics is here to kind of explain where these are all going. You can see on this plan they're all shown in pink.
Yep, I'm Tyler Eads. I'm the Solar Logics, the VP of Sales and Design. And for this project, we've kind of had an assortment of different applications of solar. We have a rooftop array here on the main building. Then you'll see these 4 squares here, which are 2 groupings of top of pole mounts, basically double pole mounted solar that creates a recreational awning space for picnic tables and that sort of thing. And then here off of King Street is a 50, 60 kilowatt carport for vehicles to park underneath. So that's kind of the layout and map of solar that's going on for the building. And then here you have the solar pedestal and integration of the electrical systems of the building right there. That's kind of a rendering of what it is.
And I think further down on this, this is kind of a view of what the carport is, and gives you a relative size to how they fit up over the vehicles. I know the fire department had one question about having enough clearance for their trucks to travel underneath here, and they do. They needed 13 feet 6 inches. So the inside of this will be on the drive lane coming in from King Street, is higher than that. And then you've got some renderings. These are the ones that are in the yard. And again, I think the low end here is around 8 feet, Tyler, is it?
Yeah, just over.
Around 8 feet. So, you know, they'll be, instead of building a pavilion, it'll be a solar panel that they can have their picnic underneath, or have, you know, have that underneath. So,
I'm just curious, are those fixed or will they adjust?
The top of pole mounts are fixed
Yep.
elevation. They do have a mechanical crank where you can change them a little bit.
Yep.
But it's for seasonality, it's not automatic, and it's not a daily adjustment.
Sure.
and also, we wanted to ask about an extension of the start time and completion time, because I've seen the construction schedule for this. It is more than a year. So typically, the ordinances say a year to begin, 2 years to finish. We'd like to just change that to 3 years to finish, because we're still working with financing and getting things lined up for this, but at least now we have real numbers. We have a contractor on board, and it's, I'd say, pretty late stage negotiation, but just due to unknown circumstances with the economy and whatnot, it may take longer than 2 years to complete it. We hope not, but. Yeah. Mr. Beal, you look like you have a question.
I'm always having questions. It's not related to what you're trying to understand, the layout versus the picture, so.
Oh, what I'm showing here are just these are the posts that hold up the solar panels. So you don't see the panels there. Down here, again, these are somewhat cantilevered, and so you see the posts along here that will support the panels out over the parking spaces. So it's hard to look at this. It's much easier to look at Tyler's drawing to see where you're going. And these will be the ones that have, or would potentially have, picnic tables under them in here or up here. And of course, the carport is here along the entryway.
I have a question, Jeff.
Yes.
Last time we met, Dave Pelton was speaking with Tammy Perkins, the abutter, and you were talking about adjusting the property line for the easement, where there's 2 parking spaces. Has that changed at all since the last meeting?
I guess Ms. Perkins has engaged a couple, as a lawyer or two, and they're working on that. We're not expecting it to be happening in the next few weeks before we need to finalize our grant application and present the 100% drawings. So right now, we're going to just continue with the, I'll get down and explain this for other folks. This is Ms. Perkins' home, or apartment building right here. From the property line here, going across to just short of our driveway and then out to King Street, are 2 easements that she has. They allow parking here, and what we've done is provided 2 parking spaces for her that's not in our parking lot calculation for the building. But we recognize this as hers, and what the intent of the negotiations is now is to give that land to her. It's just sort of often legal land.
Okay.
So.
And have we heard from her at all to know where she stands, or? And we haven't heard from any other abutters, I assume?
I haven't heard from any abutters, and I haven't heard from her since the last meeting.
Yeah, she was here at the last meeting.
Yeah. All right.
She did ask me to check on how much her taxes would go up. And I spoke with the city assessor, and the consensus was probably $15 to $20 a year for the additional land that she would own.
All right.
One other thing we did change, I forgot, I'm sorry. These parking spaces up here, we had in early renditions of the plan. We added them back in just because we believe the budget will support those. So these were here, then they were not here, and now they're back again. So that changes the parking ratio to a few more parking spots. So that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. And what actions do we need to take on this? Like, we don't have to do another findings and facts, do we?
No, because none of the conditions have changed
Yep.
from the 4 reviewers. You need to approve the revisions to the plan, and I would suggest that you approve them subject to the conditions and the findings of fact that I emailed that to you. I can't remember the date of it. Just a minute.
February 24th, 2024?
January
January.
23rd, 2024. And then also the extension they're
The extension.
requesting. The ordinance actually says you have a year to begin and 2 years to complete. So it would be better, I think, if you would say 3 years to begin and complete. Just in case they don't start within the year.
All right. So does anyone want to make a motion for what Ann just said?
Is that one or two motions?
You can put them together, I'm sure that would be.
I make a motion that I'm not going to try to repeat what Ann said, but basically, we accept the revisions that were proposed and that we change the time frame, or we specify the time frame is 3 years total for start of work, and what was the three things?
And completion, and if you would make
completion.
it subject to the conditions and the findings of fact of January 23rd, 2024, that would
Yes.
be excellent.
So that's the motion.
I'll second. All those in favor? All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Shoot. Just queuing up the next.
And the next item is Daniel Boyce is requesting approval for revisions to a previously approved site plan for a storage building for ProSeal at 198 College Avenue.
Good night.
Good evening. I'm Dan Boyce with ProSeal. We are just coming here on a previously approved plan to see if we can move the building about 15 feet closer to Reservoir Street. Once we had the surveying done on it, the corners were staked, and we realized that the building basically fell on an existing road that we used to access the property behind us. When we noticed that, I had a meeting with Mr. Bradstreet and Mr. Brown from the fire department, and they realized as well that they were not going to be able to get, it would be more difficult to get their fire equipment behind the building off Reservoir Street with the way the old plan was laid out. So when we adjusted it northeast towards Reservoir Street, that 15 feet, it allowed them to be able to access from the south side and off Reservoir Street. It's pretty simple, 15 feet northeast. With this change, we were going to pave portions of Reservoir Street, both for the people that live there and then for our ease of access getting into the building. But now the whole front of that building will be paved in, and it'll allow that fire truck to be able to move around. And also, with this plan, it does show a gravel entry just to be able to get to this back lot, which we just use as like a gravel laydown area for materials. But that's basically it.
All right. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Nope. All right. Do you have a copy of the findings and facts in front of you?
I do. Yep.
All right. I'm just going to read them by number, and you can just say true or false. Number 1,
True.
number 2,
True.
number 3,
True.
number 4,
True.
number 5,
True.
number 6,
True.
number 7,
True.
number 8,
True.
and number 9.
True.
And are you okay with all of the conditions that are attached to the approval?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Well, I will entertain a motion to accept the findings and facts with the conditions.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right. All those in favor? Great.
You're abstaining.
And abstaining. Yeah.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys. Do you guys
And-
need the plans, or is there any signatures needed on that, or?
Yep,
Okay.
they need to sign the plans.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yep.
could leave them over there, or
Yep.
if you all want to take the time to sign
Yeah, we can
now,
sign them
you
now.
Whatever you guys want.
Dan's in no rush anyway.
could. Do you mind, Dan? No. Okay.
All right. And the last item, the city council is requesting a planning board recommendation concerning revisions to the zoning ordinance to comply with PL Chapter 552. And we have Dan here to help us through it.
Is that my cue?
So I think the last, well, not the last meeting, but the meeting before last, there were a few edits that the board had requested be made, and you made those edits. And so tonight, I hope, is just a formality and voting on a recommendation to city council. So.
That's my recollection as well.
So, if everyone's okay with it, does anybody have any specific questions around this? We've been dealing with it for a while. Well, I will just open it up if anyone wants to make a motion to make a recommendation to council, city council then.
I'll make a motion
And what would be that motion for a recommendation?
to recommend, along with the changes that Ann had proposed.
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
okay, there's a second. Scott seconded. All those in favor? That's it. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate, I know you did spend some time on it, so thank you. Then I will make a motion to adjourn as long as everyone's okay still signing those other plans that are over there before we leave.
Does somebody have the findings of that?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Yep.
So.
A few more signatures were needed.
Nope, got them all.
Question.
Thanks, everyone.
The guy that cleared all